I'd like to discuss the effect which meditation, or also the meditator, could have on society. We have completed in explaining this eightfold path, the eight-step path of controlling the behavior, controlling the body, controlling the senses, controlling the energy, and then controlling the mind. What we need to understand now is the relationship between the individual and society, and that whatever happens to the individual affects society. This happens on all levels. As an individual becomes a more positive individual, his actions are more altruistic, they are less harmful to those around him. His emotions, or her emotions, are more positive, and so that we are affecting the collective emotional level. Our thoughts are more positive, and so we are affecting the collective thought pool of energy. But there's another level which we will call the causal body, or the morphogenetic field, which we could also call the collective subconscious, which states that we are all connected at a certain level of our being, and that the traits that we have affect this gene pool, or affect this trait pool, or this collective unconscious. So that every time through my meditation I come to a more peaceful state, or every time I decide to function in a more ethical way, I make peace and ethical thinking and functioning more accessible to the rest of society. I affect society not only by my actions. If I was sitting on a mountain and had no contact with society and was doing this, I would be able to affect all of humanity. Of course, to the degree that I am a part of humanity. It is a small effect, but it is an effect. And there is this concept which is called the critical mass, which Ken Kais calls the 100th monkey effect, which says that that once enough people begin to meditate or desire a positive life, desire a society based on love, unity, truth, ethical functioning. Once we get to a certain critical mass, which could be 1% or 10%, some even say the square root of 1%, then all of society will be transformed. And this actually is the basic concept behind the Celestine prophecy. This is the first insight of the Celestine prophecy, in which it is stated that this is man's hope. This is the hope of the Celestine prophecy. It's mankind's only hope, because the rate at which we are destroying the earth is so rapid that if people start changing the way they think at the rate that we are changing now, we will never make it. We will destroy the earth. So the only hope is that it is true about this critical mass, and that when enough people are meditating in a certain area, or deciding to live a different kind of life in a certain area, this will affect the overall population. Now, supposedly, the Transcendental Meditation Society did such an experiment in the small area of Rhode Island, a state in America. And when they did arrive to this 1% of the population, which was possible to do because there are many universities there, And so there are many university students who were convinced to meditate. Their minds were more open. They found a drastic reduction in divorce, in crime, and in cancer. In these three rates. Now, was it due to this? Was it due to something else? But they were able to see a reduction once they arrived at this 1% of the population of Rhode Island meditating, doing transcendental meditation. So the message for this class is that meditation is also, it's not only for ourselves, but it's also for our family, it's also for our work environment, it's also for us, the society in which you live, and it's also for mankind in general. It's also for nature. Because as we come into harmony, we can also affect nature itself by these positive vibrations. So that by daily removing ourselves from these complicated thought processes, which usually have to do with fear and with control and with anxiety, and sending off into the environment around us these kinds of vibrations of fear, hurt, anger, jealousy, defense mechanisms, and so that all the people around us are affected by those vibrations, or that even nature around us and the animals and the plants are affected by those vibrations, that we can gradually transform ourselves into positive focal points where greater amount of peace and a greater amount of spiritual energy and a greater amount of harmony, which means understanding, love, clarity, are being emitted from our being and transforming the environment.